everybody. My name is Austin Ford, and I'm going to be playing the opening until letter P of the Arutunian Trumpet Concerto.
first of all, great job. I especially love the clarity of your double tom. Next, why are you straight muting the muted section?
I thought that was like the mute you're supposed to use.
No, I meant like, why are you straight muting it? Yeah, it is muted, but why are you straight muting it?
I must have heard it wrong. I thought it was straight muted on the recording that I listened to.
Yeah, for future reference, most recordings use like a cut mute.
Okay.
They use a cut mute.
My bad.
Well, starting from the beginning, go to the line. I don't remember what measure it is because it's been a while, but Adam.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what's written there?
It says subito piano, and that's measure 6 that you're talking about.
There is a crescendo there.
At the very end, yeah. Well, at least that's what it says on mine.
Yeah, I didn't hear any at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And one more section from the beginning that's kind of that I found a bit noticeable. You played that really legato. So try and add more separation.
Yeah.
So this is like the most loved piece in all of our repertoire, and our discussions kind of reflect that. So we're going to come back to you, KJ, but I want to make sure I hear from everybody before we pick it apart.
Yeah.
You're so right. This is my most loved piece, and it made my heart beat on fast. So good work. But,
Ooh, that's a compliment.
yeah, right. So the thing that I thought the most about the beginning is that the whole opening, it needed more weight, E-I-G-H-T, and more weight, W-A-I-T. Like
Okay.
both kinds of weight. I felt like it could use more oomph and more like float at the same time. Does that make any sense?
Are you saying wait as like the second wait that you said, like more separation between phrases?
Especially the ends of phrases.
Okay.
So, like it sounded really good, and it sounded really thought out. I think it could use even more lipstick on it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I also think that your theme was fire. I think even more weight there, but to be honest, no.
Cool. I already forgot your name. Sorry. Nathan, you had your hand up first.
Okay. So I'm going to play the reverse card on you. How do you think you did?
I think it was a pretty good representation of where I'm at. I think like there's definitely probably some stuff, especially like towards the end, like when I had the mute. There's probably some stuff that I could have done differently stylistically, just because I'm not as familiar with that part. But I think it was a good representation of kind of where I'm at.
How did you feel about it?
I felt like it pretty good. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I don't,
The reason I asked
definitely
is-
there's stuff I could improve on for sure, but like
Yeah.
it was good for where I'm at.
Well, sure. The reason I ask is because, I see you walking into the studio. You usually look like you're in a pretty good mood. You go out there, you're getting set up. You're like, I'm gonna play the Arutunian. Get all excited. You put up music. You put up your horn. Shoot.
Really?
Yeah, you got really serious and like the few times I've seen you perform, if I see you soloing with the lab band, usually you're like really animated and like making these kind of goofy faces, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Okay.
It's just like I felt like you got just a little too serious, and I mean like sure it's got serious moments, but like I felt like you just were kind of morose sometimes by your standards. And I thought maybe you could just sort of lighten up a little bit,
Fair enough.
And don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb.
That was really good. I have a question or two. How long have you been working on this?
2-3 weeks, something like that.
I mean, I didn't learn that much in 2 weeks. I learned like first page in 2 weeks. I started learning it. And then like, have you been listening to recordings of this?
Yeah.
Any like specifically?
My favorite's the Phil Smith one.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I thought that was really good. The muted section, that's like one of my favorite sections. And I mean, you have half a cup mute, so you're halfway there.
I didn't know it was. I swear, I thought it was straight. That's my bad.
No, I mean, it sounded so good, but I'm trying to like think of all the comments I had. I don't want to like spew out a whole bunch of things. I thought there were like overall it was really good, but there were a few notes in there that just like rung like way more than the others. I thought that was super good. And if you could try to find that like in all the notes, I think it would just sound absolutely amazing. Most of them were like sustained notes, even when you went into the upper register, it sounded great. And then I think like in terms of musicality for like the beginning, how they were talking about like heavier and like weight, or even in like the melodic sections, I think just try to like emulate the people you're listening to. You listen to more and take things that you like, or don't do things that you don't like. But yeah, just like maybe try to exaggerate it, and then if it's too much, you just pull back instead of doing too little, I think.
Cool.
But yeah, it was really good.
Thank you. I want to get to these people first. I'll get back to you. Justin.
Yeah. I just wanted to compliment you. I mean, I don't know your background very well, but I assume you're a jazz guy, right?
I'm a
So
jazz guy.
I mean, for a I don't, yeah, but you're a cat, yeah, cat. For a jazz player to come up and play in a classical studio, that's just awesome. Because I know if I had to play in like a jazz, I would be like shaking in my boots. Like jazz studio class, I'd be like,
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. Like,
yeah, I know. So
Nathan probably called me out.
Also, so yeah, it sounded great overall. I have no complaints. Well, I have one thing. Your single tonguing, I feel like it could be a little bit stronger on the front. I feel like some sections it was a little, like you'd attack it and then I'd get the sound in the middle and not so like directly on the front, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would just make it suit everything. Is that making sense? But
Yeah. No, I got
so
you.
just sharper articulations on front of notes, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, everything sounded good. I mean, for only 2 weeks, I think that's awesome. So.
It's more like 3 weeks, and I've heard like a billion people play this thing, like just in other studio classes and stuff.
Great job.
Yeah, first off, I thought it was great. I actually disagree with Nathan a little bit. I thought it seemed like you were somehow enjoying it. It didn't seem like you were totally out of it, so that's just my opinion, I guess. I think you have a great like spin to the sound. It's a nice, like warm, full sound. And to be honest, if you were to say you're a jazzer, I wouldn't automatically think that, I guess. So I think like kudos to you, of course. So yeah, that sounds awesome. I feel like people say this a lot in studio class, but I hear a lot of abrupt like phrase endings, I guess.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think there are a couple of them. I think the lyrical parts are great though. I really love the lyrical parts. I think you could give a little more though, a little more juice on some of those longer phrases and notes, especially like maybe for example the first note of the muted section.
Yeah.
Like I would just want a little bit more, just a little bit, I guess, I don't know how to say it, just vibrant, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I think it sounds great progress.
Thank you.
Does some of that make sense?
I think I get what you're saying with the whole like you said like the very first note of the muted section.
Yeah, muted, yeah.
Like, yeah, because like it's like there's a huge like it's like they creep in and then it's like then it kind of leads to the 16
Right.
minutes.
So maybe I'm not clarifying. So like you kind of came out of like nothing, which was super great, I thought. But I think you could just like by the end of that note, you could kind of make it more dramatic.
Okay.
Or I guess through all the lyrical sections, maybe. That makes sense.
I think so.
Okay. It's okay, but
Okay.
you can ask me that later.
Nick.
It's just a piggybacking comment off of his, but in the lyrical sections, the only thing that I really wanted more of was your vibrato. The bit that I could hear sounds really good, but for me, I just wanted it a little lighter, maybe a little faster, but that's up to you for your interpretation. But I just wanted more because it sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Jack.
Amazing job. There were so many times where I was sitting there and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so good. And especially for 2 weeks, it sounds amazing. The only comment that I would have is you had you definitely did have dynamics, and you were like super strong, especially on this is like a high B flat. I think, and you just landed those high notes super well, and they were super full, and all the loud volume sounded really great, but I felt like I could have used more of a wider range, and you can really dive into those super quiet, delicate, and not even just the legato section, but just because I think there's some stuff where he does forte, mezzo, piano, alternating. Am I wrong in that?
Yes, you're not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like you could really open the window on that, and that would
Okay.
be really, really cool. But amazing job.
I got to cut off, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really want to hear what you have to say, but, I promised Amanda I'd be home on time tonight, so. I just want to say really quick, man, just since last time, actually since the last lesson you had,
Yeah.
your sound has gotten much more mature. It's really cool to hear it, and I know what you've been working on a weekly basis, and it's just it's so cool to see. I mean, the best thing to see is growth, right? That's what we all are going for, growth. So I'm seeing artistic growth, which is awesome, and that's leading to more control. You feel like you're in control more of the horn.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it.
Also, Philip showed me this thing last lesson. That was pretty eye-opening.
And you're not going to disclose that.
I mean, if you want, literally, it's
there.
What,
did he tell you to breathe more?
Basically, he told me to use a PVC pipe and blow through it.
Seriously?
And then just opened up the sound. But also what we talked about in class.
Oh, okay, thanks. Also, what I'm going to do, I'm mostly Phil. You know what? Go sit down. No, that's great. Sounds really good. Jack.
Cool. Thank you all.